Perhaps the most absurd and senseless sport in the world is about to go mainstream with the announcement of the Dana White-backed Power Slap League. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your number one source for learning about the medical side of the sports world. And in this video, we're going to dive into slap fighting, specifically the recent announcement with Dana White's Power Slap League. To get to the point, I don't think any commission should be backing slap fighting. I think it's one of the most just senseless, unnecessarily risky and dangerous sports. What do we always hear in combat sports? Whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, or whatever, it's protect yourself at all times. Fighters, while they're trying to inflict damage on one another, and you might say that the injuries that are possible in mixed martial arts are worse looking than the injuries in slap fighting. In slap fighting, there is no defense. You literally are not allowed to protect yourself. And so what you get is basically just two people trading concussive blows for one another. There's no doubt that slap fighting drives a ton of views and is highly clickable content. If you look on YouTube, there are tens of millions of views on these different videos of slap fight highlights and competitions. But just because something is popular and is going to get clicks doesn't mean that it's inherently a good or even reasonably safe thing. Right off the bat, a slap sounds like a very benign thing compared to the world of typical combat sports. And so it gets this false sense of safety and security because a lot of us don't associate a slap with being something that could have serious injury consequences. And most slaps, like what we see right here, where it truly is the palm of the hand hitting the face, while still dangerous and having risk, aren't going to be necessarily as bad as maybe a direct punch. But a lot of slap fighting is actually this, basically an open-handed punch, where if you strike somebody with more the hard bones of the wrist or the carpus, is really no different than just punching someone. Your wrist bones sit right underneath this lower portion of your palm, and so if you make contact with someone's face, striking with that portion of your wrist, it's not a slap at all. It's essentially equivalent to an open-handed punch. I mean, look at this one from their promo video. This is absolutely not a slap. This is just hitting somebody with the hard palm of your hand. That certainly is enough impact that it could be causing concussions with every subsequent blow. Beyond the risk of head injuries here, there's obviously risk for injury to trauma of the facial bones, fractures, but you'll notice the competitors also wear this cotton inside their ears. That's because if you ever slap somebody over the ear, open palmed, there's a tremendous amount of force that gets imparted into the ear canal that can rupture the eardrum. So you're also risking things like hearing damage that hopefully this cotton stays in and helps prevent, but there's so many levels here to what can go wrong, and the fact that you're not allowed to defend yourself is why I feel like it's just so absurd. They've got some safety precautions here, I guess, people standing behind him so that if you do fall unconscious, you don't hit your head. We've got the same refs who are at UFC fights here participating in these. And because the Nevada Athletic Commission has now approved it, there's going to be medical providers here as well. But what may not surprise you is that actually a lot of the medical boards that are involved in combat sports are upset. They did not think that the Nevada State Athletic Commission should approve this. Some of the biggest names in combat sports fighting in terms of fighter health, trying to promote awareness about brain injuries, were very, very strongly against this getting approved because, again, in their mind, like I'm saying here, this is just trading concussive blow for concussive blow with no seeming like competitive advantage that you can get from trying to defend yourself or protect yourself like you might have in other sports. As they mentioned, if somebody goes down and suffers a concussion, what's to keep them from getting right back up and maybe having a second impact that could cause a concussion and second impact syndrome, which can be life-threatening? Also, was that promo video just for promotion or was that actually competition? Because if they subjected these people to these impacts and traumas just for a promo video, that's a whole other level of concern. I understand the business side of it. There's clearly people who are going to watch this. It's probably going to get a ton of views and be wildly popular. But I feel like I have to speak out on just how senseless and dangerous I feel like it is as a doctor. Now, as many of you know on this channel, I cover boxing, I cover mixed martial arts, and so you might see this critique of slap fighting as just being a contradiction. But in boxing and mixed martial arts, the competitors have that ability to protect themselves. They're not just standing there waiting to receive a potentially concussive blow to the head without the ability to protect themselves. And like I said, a lot of these slaps are essentially just open-handed punches to the face that can certainly inflict enough damage, just like a punch in mixed martial arts, except here, they can't protect themselves. They can't guard themselves. It feels like as risky of a sport as possible when it comes to long-term head trauma implications. Let me know down below what you guys think of this as just maybe fans of combat sports. And I understand that slap fighting looks just kind of ridiculous and maybe silly, But it's important to understand that these are truly dangerous slaps that can cause long-term damage and brain trauma the same way that other combat sports can, except here, you don't have that ability to protect yourself, which I think makes this completely different from all those other combat sports, and something that frankly, I'm very disappointed state commissions are approving. That's it for the video, everybody. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below, and until next time, we'll see you later.